What's going on, guys? Gilly Deltrez here, one half of the Geektastic Duo and creator of Galactic Rodents of Mayhem and the Deep Dark. Currently crowdfunding on Indiegogo and Kickstarter. Get in before it's gone. Joined with
Hero Geek here, Ronald Christian, creator of the world's greatest and truest superhero, Paragon Prime, coming to Indiegogo this summer, so look for that.
All right, Star Wars High Republic. Are you in or out? Yes or no? Ron, give it to me.
No!
Oh my God.
A big fat no. A big, giant, humongous fat no.
Why?
Well, okay, so I was, hearing these rumors about this Project Luminous thing, or, whatever. And then they made the announcement of what it was, this High Republic thing. I'm like, okay, initially, on the surface, it sounds like a cool idea. Like 200 years before the prequels, supposedly the Jedi are at their height of, they're at the height, whatever.
They're at the zenith, apparently, right?
The zenith of everything, right?
Jedi.
But then when you read more about it, you realize that this is just another attempt by Disney to erase everything that people loved before about Star Wars, meaning a lot of the expanded universe stuff, a lot of the stuff that they've since labeled as Legends, to completely spit in the face of all of that, just to create their own thing. And, well, I mean, it's also another big way to push, far left social justice agendas. I mean, as we saw in the famous image of the whiteboard that we've all seen on Twitter and everywhere else on the internet. So, and those two things was like, no. And some people might say, oh, well, you haven't given it a chance. You haven't this or that or that. I already know, based on track record, especially the new movies. I mean, we all...
Yeah, for me, the new movies grossly underperformed as far as, narratively where they could have gone, what they could have done. I just think it was just a bonfire that just got bigger and more out of control, and it's just like, this is what's the legacy left.
And this Republic is just par for the course. It's the same mentality. It's the same... Mm-hmm. It's just social justice agendas. And
for me, real quick, I just want to, I know I got my little screen is really small, but what I'll just do real quick is just, I don't know if you can see what this says. This is Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah.
One of the.
By the way, this is their retconning or their erasure of Knights of the Old Republic. This is what this is supposed to be.
Right. So let me preface my opinion real quick by saying that my Star Wars, I always enjoyed The New Hope. Big time. I like the fact that it was dark and, like I said, there was some real gravity. There was high stakes. It felt like an adventure that, this is really evil, this empire, and there's a lot of mystery as well with the Jedis, and they're hardly around. Like it's great. But for me, what I really love in regards to Star Wars culture is the Old Republic, the video game, Knights of the Old Republic. Because for me, that was the Old Republic where I saw Jedis at their zenith. I saw Jedis in their prime. They were all over. They were policing. They were getting into all these type of adventures, and there were so many Jedis. It was just like, it was rampant. It was robust. It was exciting. Enthralling. For me, it was just like I'm a kid in the candy store, and I'm creating this Jedi, and I'm gonna make them dark. I'm gonna make them this way. And it turns out, the Jedi you had all along was. Spoiler alert, if you guys haven't played Knights of the Old Republic, shut this video off right now and just go play it or get familiar with it. But you control Darth Revan the entire time. And for me, that was just brilliant film, brilliant storytelling. So Old Republic has a place in my heart. Now, getting that out of the way, I understand Disney, they need a cash grab. The later trilogy movies, in my opinion, stunk. That's just my opinion. If
Yeah,
you
yeah.
enjoyed them, it's fine. You can enjoy them. I just felt like the potential of what it could have been was it was underwhelming. I just felt
Very
like, oh, this
underwhelming.
is what we got. Like, come on, man, you're dealing with Star Wars. This could have been really epic. It didn't feel that way. It just felt empty. Some of the characters were like cardboard cutouts. You don't really feel any soul. There was nothing there for me as far as the newer trilogy is concerned. There was no investment. I couldn't get plugged in. However, the potential was there where the characters they already had, the actors could have really made something magical. But that was Disney that dropped the ball. Now, after seeing how the Mandalorian played out and seeing, it's still definitely successful.
Yeah, there are a few little nuggets of really good Star Wars. The Mandalorian is one of the biggest ones. Jedi Fallen Order, which is officially getting a sequel, is a huge one. That game is just
well. Also, the Clone Wars, they have the seventh season, and even the Clone Wars in itself was nothing short of just masterful storytelling in this part of Star Wars.
I know you haven't seen it yet, but Star Wars Rebels is also one of my favorites.
I'm going to get into that one right after I finish Clone Wars.
Yeah.
And guys, Clone Wars, like I said, I was big on Star Wars. I love the original trilogy. I tried getting into the prequel trilogy, and I like Darth Maul. They killed him all so quick. Attack of the Clones, you watch it, but it just there was something there. I mean, I watch them now. I prefer them over the newer trilogy, but for me, the magic has always been in the original trilogy. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
So I wasn't so quick to jump in on the Clone Wars. I just wasn't. I was too disappointed. I'm like, this seems like another cash grab, or just another whatever.
Until you give it a chance.
Until the Mandalorian, I'm just telling you. I had some Star Wars buddies that always say the Clone Wars are pretty good. I'm like, okay, I'll get into it eventually. Once the Mandalorian came out, and I was dying for some new Star Wars. I was fiending for some new Star Wars, and the Mandalorian that itch wasn't scratched enough. So then I jumped into the Clone Wars with the episode guide, and boy, oh boy, the first 5 seasons, I'm like halfway through the 5th season, is the best of anything I've seen in Star Wars. It has a soul. It has the morals. It has great action. It has great bad guys. They're not afraid to kill people. It's just holy moly guacamole. It's everything I wanted in Star Wars. And again, my love for the Knights of the Old Republic, came out. Again, I love Knights of the Old Republic before then, but then again, with 1 and 2, is just you're left and they never did anything with it, and just like, okay. Again, there's a lot to love about Star Wars, but Disney has mishandled and mismanaged everything that they've had so far.
Completely.
Except The Mandalorian. I haven't seen the 7th season of Star Wars Clone Wars. I'll give it on that.
I've seen they've had the first 2 episodes, and it's pretty solid so far. It's good.
All right. And that format that they do an episode at a time, I'm probably just going to wait till it finishes. I'll catch up on season 6 of the Clone Wars, probably finish up Rebels, and then jump on season 7 of Clone Wars. But what I'm trying to say is there's a lot of magic in Star Wars. People want to see Star Wars stories being told. They want to feel for it. There's an authenticity that we've been missing. As far as Star Wars,
Disney knows nothing about the authenticity of Star Wars. Absolutely nothing.
So when we're talking about Star Wars, the High Republic here, I'm not gonna lie. There's a part of me that wants to get excited, that wants to scream yes, but there's a part of me at the same time that's screaming no, because again, I've been hurt too many times before.
Yeah,
it's like you're in a relationship with this girl, and it's just like, she's always doing her own thing, but she opens up to you. You get invested. You want to get serious, and she's like, sorry.
Yeah.
No,
the way that I see it, things like The Mandalorian, season 7 of Clone Wars, or Jedi Fallen Order are the exception right now, not the rule. They're outliners of good Star Wars because Kathleen Kennedy wasn't involved with those projects, kind of mentality,
Right.
I mean, there's rumors going around that Kathleen Kennedy is barred from the set of The Mandalorian. You know what? I'm going to talk about a couple of clues that I've noticed so far about The Mandalorian that tell me that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are actively trying to distance themselves from Disney's trilogy. I've noticed a couple of things, and I'm gonna tell you about them right now. In the one episode where they have to break that one guy from the prison, right? So that's a New Republic prison, right? So or whatever. So the New Republic insignia that you see on the droids and the security droids, and you see on the guard in that one room, that insignia is actually the New Republic insignia from Legend, from the expanded universe. So it's a separate one. Wow. The one that they made a new one for the Disney trilogy. A new insignia, but they didn't use that one for the Mandalorian. They actively used the one.
Okay, I like that. I like the universe. I like the little rebellion within.
That's one clue that tells me that they are probably trying to stay away from Disney's, trilogy. Another clue in that same episode, by the way, you know how at the end you see the X-Wings come in and attack the guy at the end, right?
Yes.
So those are the classic X-Wings that we've seen in the original trilogy, right? Mm-hmm. Supposedly, they were supposed to be the newer X-Wings that we see in the new movies, right? Originally, they were supposed to be the new X-Wings, but obviously they didn't do that, so we got the classic X-Wings.
Man, you really went hard into this, huh?
Yeah, I don't think that's by accident. I don't think that was just, kind of like, I don't think that was an accident. I think that was on purpose, and I think that was a subtle message to fans and to Kathleen Kennedy. And when you add that to the fact that she's not allowed on set of The Mandalorian, I mean, I'm just, an educated guess is that they're actively trying to stay away from Disney Star Wars on purpose.
Well, now when we get to the High Republic, the idea is that if you're going to cash in, and obviously the legacy of what we know is kind of, kaput, and you left it in a way where that's closure, like that's how it ended. I would love to see, again, that's what we got in Legends, like the Thrawn trilogy, that kind of stuff is just done. And it's almost like, to make Star Wars kind of relevant again, at least in Disney's eyes, they need to, they're not going to cash in on Legends because Legends already made. They don't want to kind of, if they actually do respins on those storylines, it could be really cool. But again, as Ron is saying, they want to do their own thing. They kind of want to retcon maybe the Old Republic. I hope that's not the case with the High Republic.
It is. It's a retcon. It's them erasing that. That's what they're doing.
And as a fan, it's like, how do you read like the cool stuff that I've read and just kind of like disregard it? Like I can't. Like my mind mentally is in certain places where I'm like, okay.
Now, where they made the mistake, so where Disney made the mistake by just saying everything is Legends. Now, I understand why they wanted to do their own thing. I get that, but I think they should have incorporated more from the expanded universe into their new continuity, into their new canon.
They didn't do that. They could have done that.
They could have done that. They didn't have to. They didn't have to take every single thing, every single novel, every single character. But the favorites, the people that the ones that people relatched onto, like the Thrawn trilogy, characters like Mara Jade and a bunch of other characters, Jason and Jaina Solo. The children of Han and Leia, and all of those story elements, they could have adapted and adapted a lot of that and brought it into their new continuity. But they just got rid of all of it, everything. They
basically had the book, and they're like, "Nah, we're doing our own thing."
Yeah, exactly. So
they torched that idea, and the fact that apparently they didn't have enough reference, they didn't have enough comic material, they didn't have enough. And there's litany of stuff they could have drew upon to make things more compelling, and to just kind of stay true to what Star Wars was already. It had this structure going on, It had this universe already within the universe that's like, hey, this is how deep it gets. The Knights of the Old Republic showed that. We had the success of the Thrawn trilogy, and then now this is what I don't like that Disney does is like they'll handpick something that was in Legends and they'll just throw it into like this new timeline and what they're doing, and it's supposed to stick. Like Darth Revan that I know and love is from the Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah, there's rumors going around. There's rumors going around that they're going to bring Darth Revan into this High Republic.
How do you do this? So my whole thing, you have this awesome character that was established way back when, the Sith Lord. I mean, lost his memory, had to be retrained in the Force, and either becomes a good Jedi Knight, or I think that he would become good. I don't know if he played him in a video game like me, I was bad, but then of course I had the save file where it made him good. But the whole thing is, the idea is that that's his story. It's such a significant story. It has its distinct identity. And then you're just going to take that and shoehorn it into the High Republic, and I'm supposed to be gung-ho about it? It's just not the Revan that I knew.
Yeah. A lot of people argue that, for example, Thrawn was brought into Rebels. And there's a lot of people out there that didn't like the way he was handled on Rebels. I personally don't have a problem with it. I thought he was handled very well on the show. But that's an example.
Understand why people might have a problem.
Yes.
You got to justify the both sides. You could feel like I'm cool with it, but you got to understand why. You might be cool with Revan in the High Republic. I'm like, man, the Revan that I connected with, that I know, like his lore.
No. The reason I wouldn't be cool with Revan on High Republic is because okay, so there's rumors going around that, okay, you know what? Why don't you bring up an image of the whiteboard? Because I want to talk a lot. I want to talk about a lot of the points that you see on the whiteboard. So bring up an image on the whiteboard if you can, because there's a couple of things that I want to touch on when it comes to that.
Are you going to say how it applies to Revan?
Yes, I am. I'm making a specific point here.
Okay.
All right. So on the last list, we'll talk about the big ones later on. But on the last list, you see Sith Empire down there, right? Mm-hmm. Right under rival houses, where it says, Sith Empire. Now, that doesn't make any sense. And I'll tell you why. Because I don't remember which movie it was off the top of my head. But someone said in one of the movies, I want to say it's Obi-Wan, but I'm not sure, that the Sith haven't been around for a millennium. Right? Now, if this story is set only 200 years before the prequels, then there wouldn't be a Sith Empire. If you want to have a Sith Empire, you would set this during the time of the Old Republic, because that's when the Sith were around. So already with that, they're contradicting the movies.
Here's one thing that, I mean, I get what you're saying, whatever that comment was, but I mean, if we just understand the Sith is an ideology, right? Like the Jedi, right? It's a philosophy and ideology, right? It's an order, right?
Yeah.
Let's just say for the argument, like it's like Christianity, right? Or it's like Democrat, Republican, or it's like atheism, whatever. It's a belief system, right? The Sith would be that, no?
Probably, but the thing is, though, it doesn't say Sith.
No, I'm just
it says Sith Empire. The word Empire has a different connotation to it.
I get what you're saying, but what I'm just trying to say is that it's still, this ideology could still be alive. Like, it's not that if there's no Sith around, the idea of a Sith or the teachings of the Sith are still around in some way, shape, or form in a galaxy far, far away. Like
right? Yeah. You might be right, and that could be the case. But the word Empire is a mistake to use it in that connotation, because it alludes to something big, something well known, something that there's a lot of people part of. Because the thing is, though, the Jedi would know about that in the other movies.
They would know. They didn't know Palpatine was right under their damn nose, the Sith Lord. No.
Yeah, but a couple of Sith, compared to an entire empire is not the same thing, man.
Here's the thing. An empire is an empire, right? Do they control the whole galaxy? That's an empire. Could it be just a faction that you're calling them an empire that no one knows about yet? That could be something, and there's an empire yet to be discovered. Is that fair to say? It could be an empire yet to be discovered.
Maybe.
It could be a faction that has the size of an empire that just in the wings that we don't know about yet. How they play this is one way. The only way, remember, I said I don't like how they're going to use Revan. I don't know how they're going to use Revan. One way in them using Revan that I think can work. Let's just say the idea of Revan, if he came back or whatever, and let's just say he went back to the Sith ways, right? That's really strong. You were a Sith Lord, right? You were left for dead. You lost your identity, and you retrain in the Force as a Jedi, but eventually find your way to know you are Darth Revan, and you re-embrace the Sith, the ways of the Sith. Couldn't that be a catalyst into somehow down the line, like let's say Darth Revan, maybe on the side or maybe something, created an academy or created like a bunch of created a new rule of Sith in his own way, and let's just say you have a line of Darth Revans down the line. So instead of Darth Revan the way I know him, it's just the idea of Darth Revan as this leader or this figurehead, and whoever gets to become the next Darth Revan, either through trial and tribulation, either through use of the Force or whatever, becomes the leader. And that's how it goes down until I'm trying to figure out how I would make sense of it into justifying that Darth Revan is still the same Darth Revan, or just the idea of him is still able to make sense in the High Republic.
I guess, yeah. I mean,
would that work? Does that sound plausible?
I mean,
anything I don't know. That's just my wish, because that I would, you have a line of Revans, and it's just the idea of Revan, and that each Revan is the head of this little system.
In my opinion, if I want to do something with the Sith Empire, if I want to do bring back the Sith in a big way, I would do it in the future. I would do it a couple of 100 years after the classic trilogy.
That's also a good idea too. But then here, look how they. I mean, again, there's this, the whole Palpatine, and it's just again,
we would skip.
We have to do something. I get it.
We would skip the Disney movies.
But what I'm going to tell you that even though the same way it could work in the future, I could make it. Me as a writer and I love the Star Wars and I love the challenge. I could find a way to make that work. Even within this 200 years ago, there's this Sith Empire that could just coming out, burgeoning, and just wants to take over the Jedi again or something like that. I could see that working. You telling me you can't fight that and make it work?
Maybe. I think I could. I mean, with some help, but yeah.
Right. So, it has to be done in a way that we're focusing on Star Wars before any agendas first, right? Yeah. Before anything else. Now I know you brought up the whiteboard. Let's just look at fiction. Authentically lived in. Okay, authentically lived in.
Star Wars
someone that authentically lived in,
Star Wars has always had that. Star Wars has always had that authentically lived in feel. That's part of the reason why it makes it so.
It has to feel like
so.
That's why we see when the Mandalorian, where he goes to that land, he meets that guy. He has to train to what's that kind of horse thing, the monster.
I can't remember the name of that.
He has to break it in. Okay, so we could say that's authentically lived in. This is a style. This is the Jabba scavenging. Yeah, we're getting the authentically lived in. Okay, I get it. Surprise. Okay, we need the element of surprise. Diversity. Okay, you want to throw in diversity.
There you go.
Here's the thing. You live in a planet with a bunch of.
I get it. I understand.
It's not hard.
But the thing is, though, their version of diversity is not the one that.
Well, that's the problem. I get it, and that's where my problem is, because again, that's when it doesn't feel like Star Wars. It almost feels like we're bringing Earth problems or Earth awareness, Earth representation, into a fictional world. And I get you're always going to have authenticity. You're always going to have perspective lens. I get all that. But again, you can have so much in just dealing with the Twi'leks and just dealing with the Wookiees. And if you want to talk about you could talk about this other races getting
Star Wars has always had diversity. I mean, there's, I guess, if it had said aliens or different species of aliens, that would have been different, but it says diversity.
Here we go. Actual ending. Okay, great. Feelings. You want feelings. Okay, great. Relatable characters. You want that. Okay, great.
Sweeping epic.
Right. Here's
this is a funny one. This not there's
not pro war.
Not pro war. That's weird.
It's a joke.
That's weird. That's a weird thing to say. Like, what does that mean? It's confusing. Like, not pro war. Okay.
How does that even work?
So I don't know. I mean, it's Star Wars. Wars is part.
It's in the title.
Yeah.
You're dealing with oppression. You're dealing with
because
political elements.
Did you ever feel that the movies are pro war? I never did.
I'm not saying pro war. It's just good against evil.
It's just good against evil.
What it is. You can't sugarcoat. A sci-fi world.
No.
I mean, this is war is real. Like I said, that's why I like the Clone Wars. You see death. You see, the Clone Wars. See the clones, battling. They're dying. Just because they're clones doesn't make their life less, valued. No, they're fighting, right? The scope, mythic space lightsaber battles. Okay, we'll get that there. No single character. I get it. You want group characters. There's just a lot that they want. And there's a lot that could work, but again, I see it as a cash grab. High Republic, Relic Hunters, that would be cool. University, okay.
What does that mean, University? I don't
know. Dinosaurs, dinosaurs back in. We get you.
No, dinosaurs. I don't know what they mean by dinosaurs. Like Earth dinosaurs. That's no. We can't have a T-Rex.
More representation, diversity. Focus on a green Twi'lek. Make the whole story about a green Twi'lek. No humans.
If you have to
try that.
If you have to put those words on a whiteboard twice, you've already failed.
Yeah, it's not even once.
It's twice. Yeah. Okay, so that tells me that your focus is way too much on that, and way too much on the wrong kind. Okay, so they mean more women, more. POCs more as opposed to diversity when it comes to alien species.
And the problem with this is, again, you're promoting this agenda. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with diversity, nothing wrong with representation. But when you got to make an effort, well, we need this, we need that. You know what? You want a good, hire new blood. You got a big universe out there. You can make a label for this or that. Hire. You can have enough Star Wars for separate factions of people. If you want to do, LGBTQ centric Star Wars story, get it and market it towards that. There's people that will buy it. Like Star Wars is so vast, it's so diverse in itself that you don't have to limit the mainstream story to fit a certain bubble. I mean, you can break through the bubble. There's so much you can do. And when you have storytelling that works, there's already great things. Clone Wars is the example. Ahsoka, right? I mean, isn't she not a female, right?
She's a female alien.
She's not a female of color. I mean, she's orange, right? I mean, you could go. I mean, come on now. I mean, are we looking at it like this? I'm just saying you can make a great Star Wars.
They're ignoring. So they're. The thing is, though, to this is the problem with this. Their version of diversity is diversity according to the standards
of Earth diversity. And that's the problem when you try to shoehorn that into a fictional world where people want to escape and get into a good story of good against evil, of love. Like, I get that. There's different characters. There's different things. There's you can do this in a way that works.
But there's already diversity in Star Wars. It's always been there.
Apparently not. And that's the problem.
There's always been aliens. It's there. It's right in front of them, but they're ignoring it to shoehorn diversity according to
their ways.
The ways that it is here on Earth now, as opposed to a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Listen, it's already annoying me. I gotta break it off.
All right. Yeah.
Anyway, guys, we're definitely going to talk more about Star Wars High Republic stuff, news as it comes out. As Ron as I, we're really passionate about Star Wars, and our views and opinions are definitely reflected here. Again, we want nothing but the best for Star Wars. We just want to see that ushered in a way that's organic and always about the story first without anything else. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, we can get a great Star Wars story. Hopefully, something good to come out of the High Republic that you can get excited about. I'm just going to be very, very frugal in my supporting of there until I see something that resonates with me, and that's just how I'm going to do it. Yeah. Anyway, guys, you have anything else?
No, I am good.
We will be talking a lot as more news and developments come with Star Wars: The High Republic. So this ain't the end. We're definitely going to get a lot of more rants out. But again, guys, definitely like, subscribe, support the channel just so we can do more stuff. And we're trying to grow our band, and we do write comics, and we do absolutely love Star Wars and want nothing but the best for Star Wars.
Nothing but the best for
Here's
Star
an
Wars.
example. Here's a gem for you guys. If you haven't seen this, Star Wars Underworld, right? I mean, these are gems out there. Is this canon now? I don't think it's canon, right?
No, it's not canon. That's officially Legends, yeah.
But I'm just saying, right? Great artwork, great stuff, right? What I'm just trying to say is I love Star Wars. I want nothing better than to see Star Wars prosper. I just get hurt when, there's you seeing it underperform. That's it. This is what it is. The new Disney Star Wars trilogy of the movies, it accentuated that in the sales and just how it in its reception. That's what it is. We just want to see better stuff. Anyway, guys, till next time, geek out.
Geek out, guys.